if you go in with a high vibe, high energy, positive approach to things, good things will then flow into you. So I just think like it's about being intentional about the vibration, how you want to feel, how you want others to feel around you and in your company as well. And I think spirituality can be great for that. Hi everyone! Morning! Welcome to episode 6 of Self-Discovery in Good Company. It's Saturday morning and our vibes are high and we're really looking forward to doing the podcast today.
Yes, vibes are high. Vibes are high today. I'm feeling good. I am feeling excited for podcast. I think it's because we're doing it on a Saturday morning instead of like 10 o'clock at night. And the vibes are high. I am also in your house again, enjoying your beautiful quiet space without Mr. Tumble in the background at mine, and children screaming and a husband just wandering aimlessly going, oh my God. What child shall I man right now? That's I was like, I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go and do this. So here we are.
Good luck.
Yeah, see you in a bit. So here we are, feeling good, ready for podcast, all things spirituality.
Yes, that is what we're talking about today. And it's 13th of January we're recording this on. So how has your probably non-eventful week been?
It has been highly non-eventful. It's just life has just gone back to like the usual chaos, activities all up and running again, back at school, doing all of that jazz. So it's been fine. It's been good. Just really non-eventful, Stace, non-eventful. How has yours been? What have you been up to?
I actually did go out last night and had some wine. So, and I was a bit like, oh, when I woke up this morning, maybe that wasn't the best idea when I've got the podcast the next morning.
No, I think it makes you better. It makes you better.
I would have to agree. So I feel like I'm a bit of a campaign of like, not make January boring. Like, I feel like, do you know what I mean?
Even dry January. Why make it even worse? Why make it even worse? No.
Absolutely.
Not doing that.
And actually, like, I've had a few conversations with people about resolutions. And we did the episode, obviously, on like intentions for the year and all that. And obviously, being super into personal development and a coach and things, I am so into like, setting intentions at the start of the year. But I think that there is this like reality that actually we are in a season of winter. We are in a season of wanting to just wind down, take things more slow, lie in, have early nights, slower mornings and things like that. And it really jars against the kind of set goals, I'm going to be in the gym in the morning at 6 a.m. and then you're like totally struggling to get out of your bed. You're really tired for the rest of the day because you didn't sleep enough and all of that. So I've actually been in a load of conversations this week about how, it's amazing to set goals in January or set goals at any time. But maybe, someone I spoke to was like, my goal for January is to actually go to bed early and just be more mindful and just go things at a slow pace. And I think that's amazing as well.
Oh, I think that sounds ace. Hibernate. Like,
Hibernate.
There is a reason that, nature, they hibernate at this time of year. They keep themselves cozy. They're getting themselves geared up for like spring and summer and that. And maybe that is just what we need to do. I am a big advocate for this. I'm a 10 o'clock bed gal. Honestly, if I could go earlier, I absolutely would. Like, I love a slow morning. Sundays in our house are like that. I mean, there's no rush to do anything. I try to avoid making Sunday morning plans because I like the slowness. I love a slow morning. I really do.
I'm getting more comfortable with a slow morning. I'm not great at slow mornings.
No, maybe not on a Saturday. I'm like, no, let's get up. Like it's the weekend sort of thing. But no, on a Sunday, you will find me like, going back to bed when the boys have a nap. Like,
really?
Oh God,
that's nice.
Like, I love that. Like when they go down for their 10 o'clock nap, I'm like, yeah, right, Gav. See you in a bit. I'm away back to my bed.
So you're not wanting him to join you in the bed?
No, he's got to man the other child. He's got to man the other child. I want
If you could stay
peace.
downstairs. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So we have to take like turns. Like, this morning he was like, I think I'm going to go back to bed for a bit. And I was like, that's okay. That's fine. Because like fully tomorrow, I'll be back there. And like,
yeah, that's
just, nice. That is. So I'm all about that for January. All about it.
Yeah. And I still need to get better at the early nights. I'm really, really not nailing that. So I definitely need to work on that.
I'm ace at that. I'm like really good at it.
And I've had loads of actual speaking to people about, like, I've had loads of spiritual, but that's what we're going to do on the podcast today.
Yeah.
I had this thing this week, which is just a perfect example of what I would say, like universal alignment or being super connected to the universe or whatever you want to call it. But I basically Harper woke up at 5:45 in the morning, which is like it's okay. Like I'll be listening, people will listen to this and think, I'd love if my child woke up at 5:45. Yeah. My child wakes up at 4:30 in the morning, whatever. I know that, but that's early for her. And it was her first day back at nursery. Like I literally grabbed her, took her to my bed, and I was like, Harper, it's not time to get up yet. It's still sleepy time. And she went back to sleep. Go to sleep. 2 minutes, she's back to sleep. I am not. I am then up for the day a bit earlier than I would have planned. But anyway, totally fine. And then I thought about this girl I used to work with, and she was like, just popped into my head, and I was like, maybe I need to give her a message, wonder how she's doing. Then I went into a meeting with somebody and I told a story about her. Now, that was me. That was me telling a story about her. And I was, I mentioned her name. I went into the next meeting at like 9:30 in the morning. I think it would have been 10 in the morning, early. The person I was meeting mentioned her name. I was like,
so funny.
Yeah, I was like,
there are no coincidences. There are no coincidences.
I then went into a meeting after lunch and someone else mentioned her name. And I used to work with her. She's not somebody that I speak about often in work or anything like that. So there was 4 instances where I heard her name in that day, or it came into my head or whatever. So then I messaged her and I was like, I feel like I need to message you. You came up 4 times today, in my mind, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I'm meeting up with her in a couple of weeks, and she's got some exciting things going on, thinks the Personal Growth Collective might be able to support with that and all of that. And that for me is being in alignment and the definition of spirituality in a way, in that it's basically like being super in tune with what's going on around you and having your vibration high, and then good things like that come in because your vibration's high.
Oh, yes. I love that. That is a great way.
You had one this week as well. I've been in so many conversations with people who have had moments like that this week. You had one as well.
Honestly, it's so weird. I think there's a lot of energy going around this week. Yeah. And it was, I've bored everyone to tears with my, what am I going to do when I go back to work? I've got nobody to look after my children. And nursery is expensive. There are no childminders in the world. So I've honestly been so confused about it. And I was like, you know what, universe, I'm going to hand this over to you. I need you to help me because I'm sick of thinking about it. Show me, what do I have to do? What is the best way to work through this? And yeah, it's then I started getting emails from work with positive news. I then got an email from a childminder, and just everything was falling into place. And I was like, God, that's because I let that go and I just stopped thinking about it, and I let the universe take care of it. So, I mean, I'm still no clearer, by the way, but I did think, gosh, what a coincidence. Like when I was, speaking to myself in the car, saying, please take this from me and you deal with it. I then started getting the emails, things started falling into place. And then I just have to trust that it is going to fall into place. I was speaking I was speaking to another childminder yesterday, and I was like, God, you guys, y'all come out at the same time. So yeah, it was all kind of flowing together. So I'm really, I'm hopeful that a path will be shown if I just continue to just be like it'll be what it'll be, sort of thing.
Yeah. Definitely. So I often get asked by people, like, how did I get into it, and what was my path? And that's what the episode's going to be about today. So Stace, how did you get into spirituality?
Well, let me tell you, Stace. I distinctly remember being about 24. Now, I have suffered with bouts of anxiety all of my life. Like, I'm very open about it. World's most anxious person, and not in like Kardashian way where they say, I'm feeling really anxious. And it's like, no, that's not, you're not feeling anxious. Like, I'm feeling anxious. So I've had bouts of that all my life. And I remember when I was 24, I must have been going through like a particular bout of it. And one of my oldest friends in the world, she is a really, really good friend. She had said to me, she was quite into stuff like this. She had said to me, well, listen, Stace, I've got someone that I think you should go see. I'm going to make you an appointment and I would like you to go see her because I really think she'll be able to help you. And I was like, okay, cool. Whatever. If you can make me feel less anxious and feel better, I'll do whatever. So I went out to this woman and she was in Newmarket at the time. And I went out and I had no idea what to expect. I was just like going with it. You know, I'd been to like have readings and stuff like that from other people and
Had you before that point?
Yeah, because I love that kind of stuff. I've always liked that kind of stuff, but I'd never really gone to any sort of like healers or anything like that. So I went out to her, her business was called Angel Eyes. And I was like, I have no idea what to expect here. I really have no idea. But I went in and honestly, my God, like, first of all, you're just hit with this. You were like, oh my God, this is such a calm place. Like, I actually feel really calm in this little cabin in her garden. You know, it's nice and dark. And I then came to realize what she was doing. She was like a Reiki healer. I never had Reiki before. But what made her different was that while she was like doing Reiki on you, she was like communicating with spirit. Like, you know, she would give me guided messages. Like, you know, she would say things like, I remember her saying to me, she was like, who's getting engaged? And I was like, oh, I don't know. I have no idea. And she was like, what about your sister? Is she engaged? And I was like, oh, no, she's not engaged. I don't know, like if they're thinking about that sort of thing. Honestly, like a couple of days later, my sister and her husband got engaged, and I was like, oh my God. So she was communicating with spirit, giving me guided messages. She then whipped out angel cards and was like, gave me a reading. And I was like, oh my God, I love this. This is so right up my street. And I left feeling incredible. Like, honestly, like her Reiki was amazing. Like, I've had other Reiki from other people as well, and it's not been that for me. Like, I haven't come away feeling like, you know, you just came away just feeling like 30 quid lighter, but like, you know,
Yeah.
they genuinely came out and my eyes like almost, it was so weird. She was like, your eyes are sparkling. And I was like, I feel like they are. Like, I feel like I can just see clearer. So she really shifted something in me with her Reiki. She really had. It was incredible. And then, you know, she was telling me all about her and like, you know, how she had like how she communicates with spirit, how she gets messages, how she can see things. And I was like, oh my God, I need to see you regularly. So from that point, I then started seeing her, like, you know, I think it started like maybe every 3 weeks. I would go see her. That was what I wanted to spend my money on, to just go and spend like an hour with her. Because in her company, I just felt amazing. You could, it was honestly, it was like Reiki, but it was like therapy, but it was also guided, like, you know, with spirituality. She would give me books like that I could take home and read. And she introduced me to crystals. And honestly, I just loved my time there. Like, I really did. And it just kind of started to go from there. So my friend is absolutely to thank for that. And she, like, once I was kind of into that, I then like bought my own cards, and I then, you know, started trying other alternative like therapies. Like, you know, I've been to see a shaman, like, you know, I've done all of this kind of stuff because I just live with it. And yeah, I've got May to thank for all of that. But then it got to a point where I was feeling so good about it all. And I think things just do come to like a natural sort of end.
Yeah.
And I remember she was going to be moving, and it was going to be like other side of the Shire and stuff like that. So it wasn't going to be as easy for me to see her. She was going to be trying something new. And so we just kind of were like, okay, well, this has been amazing. It's been like an amazing year getting to know you. And we kind of parted ways. And honestly, I have to tell this story. I know I sound like I'm
I
talking
know
a
the
lot,
one
but
you're going to tell. I'm like, you have to tell the story.
oh my gosh, honestly.
It's one of the best.
So we lost touch. Like, I would text her, I couldn't get through. Like, she must have changed her number. She was never on anything social. I had Googled her, I had tried to find her, I had reached out to people that I thought would have known her. Nobody could like tell me like where she was or how I could get in touch with her. And this was for years. This was for years, because when I was had another bout of anxiety, it's like I was like, I just need to see May. I need to see May. That is what will make me feel better. And I just couldn't find her. Couldn't find her. So when I was working as a bridal makeup artist, I would be dotting all over about, going to different venues and stuff like that. And I was going up to a Boyne. Somebody was getting married. I think it was Coos they were getting married at. So anyway, it was a Saturday morning, 7 a.m, driving up to a Boyne. And I drove past this house and there was a big banner outside it and saying Angel Eyes, Reiki therapy. Well, did I not just pull over my car, stopped in the drive? I was like, oh my God, this is me. This is me. This is me. I honestly hadn't seen her for about 10 years. I took down the number frantically because obviously I had to get to a wedding. And I was like, oh my God, I need to message her straight away as soon as I get home. So the whole time at the wedding, I was buzzing. I was like, I can't believe I've just seen a banner for May's services. I can't believe it. And when I got home, I messaged her. I was like, May, this is Stacey. I don't know if you remember me. I was like, please, can I come see you? And she was like, Stacey, of course I remember you. And she was like, yes, come and see me. Come and have an appointment. And honestly, we reconnected and it was like, I'd never been away. It was amazing. I just thought I had looked for her for so long. And then the universe
You told me. You told me, and I think you threw it out to the universe, didn't you? You were like,
I was like,
please bring me May.
Oh, honestly, I had, because I just wanted to find her so desperately. I just think to myself, if I hadn't been going out there for a wedding that day, or if that person had chosen another venue, or if May had been like, oh, I'm not wasting my money on a banner outside my house, why? That's not good marketing sense and stuff like that. If I never would have found her, but I did on this random Saturday, and honestly, it was amazing. It was the best. So yeah, we're
nice.
back in touch now, and you've been to see her.
I loved it. Yeah, I've been a few times.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go again this year because I never really got the chance last, so I am gonna have to go again because
I think sometimes I like it as it's like I find that you turn to spirituality. I just have it I'll say to people I'm quite spiritual, and I think I find I don't know if I position it well, or I don't think people then know what that is when I say it. But I say, oh, I'm quite spiritual. I just really believe that the energy that you put out, you get back, and everything happens for a reason. Is basic level. I think what spirituality is. Everything is energy. So money is energy. So the more that you give out from a spiritual perspective, you will get that back. And the more you
I'm still waiting for that money to come back. But I firmly believe it. It will.
I think it's in your ears. I think it's those lovely meetings, or you're waiting it.
Yeah, it's something like that. Something like that. It will come back.
But yeah, totally. But yeah, I often get asked what draw you into it, and I think sometimes you find it when you a lot of people go into it when you need it. So spiritual readings, I had my first one when I was mid-20s. I'm not good at remembering specific ages. Mid-20s. And at that time, I laugh at it now. I didn't have a boyfriend, wasn't married, wasn't engaged. What am I doing with my life? Lived at home, blah, blah, blah. and I felt like a bit lost. And I went, and I was, and it made me feel better and excited about the future. And I felt like, okay, actually, I'm on the right path. Good things are coming. And the person I went to was in King Cork, like an area in Aberdeen.
Oh my God, I definitely went to her. I definitely went.
She was younger.
Oh no, that was somebody else then. Her name
Yeah.
was Dawn that I went to. She used to live there. But
I didn't even have her name. And some people are skeptical and they'll be like, oh, they've obviously Googled you.
Yeah.
If you've been to a reading, and there's people out there and they won't, they won't be very good. You have to, you have to be open to it, first of all. If you go with the mindset of like, right, well, this is going to be rubbish, things won't come in, things won't flow. The more open you are, the more you're going to get. And it's going to be, the better it is. So I went and I didn't tell the girl my name, and I never do that still. I never I gave a fake name. And everything. It was my first one. And I was like, oh, let's see. And the things that she knew was just amazing. She said to me, oh, your mum's moving to London. Oh, it's not London. It's just outside London. It's Surrey. And only my mum and me, I think, or like a handful of people at that point knew. It's not out there. You can't Google that. Do you know what I mean?
Oh my God.
And my gran came through. But I think the very, very first time that I was into it was my mum goes regularly to the spiritual church in Aberdeen, which is so nice. We Wednesdays, didn't we?
Yeah.
And it was so lovely. We should go again soon, actually.
Yeah, we
Sunday morning, so I have to get out of your bed. But
okay. I'll do it.
I'm only kidding. But yeah, so it's so nice. And my gran always comes through. And my gran passed away when I was 11, and I was so close to my gran, like so close. I've got a picture of her sitting at my desk now in front of me. And it's actually a picture. I'll show it for you and I'll explain it. It's a picture that I found when I moved into this house in like a book or something. And this house I only moved into 2 years ago.
2 years ago?
2 years ago. And so it was really weird. And it's a picture of her, like, I'm trying to like see it so you can see it. A picture of her like watching over me as a child.
Oh my God, I can't. That is
like,
so cute.
We're at Ballater, where we always used to go every summer. And I'm like fishing for like little fish with like a little bandy net, which we always did. And she's watching over me. And I honestly, I've got it's on my desk because I feel like that.
That's such a beautiful photo.
I know, it's so nice, isn't it?
I love it.
So stylish as well. And I feel so like my gran is everywhere. My gran is everywhere. I go for a reading and she's the only one that gets a look in.
Yeah.
There's other people that I have in spirit, but it's my gran always. And I just feel like she's just everywhere. And like, like I see robins and I get signs from the universe and all of that. But I would say like, it's something that the more that you see it and the more that you prove it to yourself, the more you believe it. But even now, you'd be like, give me a sign. Stacey got a huge sign last week. And I was like, yeah, that's your sign. She's like, but do you think, is that my sign? I'm like, yeah. I need a sign to your sign. I need a sign to your sign.
I need somebody to slap me in the face with a sign.
Yeah. You asked the universe, 10 minutes later, you got an email. That's your sign.
It's wild, isn't it?
It's wild. And the amount of people, like, I was speaking to somebody this week and she was saying that she was flying to, she's an anxious flyer, she's flying to Australia on a direct flight, London to Perth. And I've done it. It's a really long flight. It's like 17, 18 hours. Really, really long. Geez. I actually think it's good because you just blitz it. But anyway, she was like, I'm quite anxious about it. I was like, how are you feeling? She's like, I'm okay. I'm anxious about it. She went back to her desk and she used her spirit number, her universe number. And that basically, for anyone who doesn't know what that is, I've got them as well. It's a number that you see repeatedly that is the universe connecting with you and kind of giving you messages and things. So mine's is 87. Hers, I don't know what hers was. I think it was 31. She put in a bid in an auction at the airline to get an upgrade to business, like a silent auction. So she put in a bid, she used her universe numbers, and she got her upgrade.
Oh my God, I flipping love that.
And she was texting me to tell me, because we just met, and we bumped into each other in work. It's things like that I'm just like, I see if you live your life looking for it. Yeah. It's so exciting.
It is so exciting. It is so exciting. I love getting a good sign. I love it.
Same.
I love asking for signs. And I first heard or read about like asking for signs from a book that honestly, just if anyone is at all, I send it to everyone as well. I send this book to everyone because it literally changes lives. And it was Gabby Bernstein's The Universe Has Your Back. I read it, and I mean, I've read it time and time again. I love it. And she has a section in there about like, asking the universe for a sign. And oh my God, when I read that, I just was doing all the time, like just asking for daily signs. And then you would get them. And it was just the best feeling ever. So, I mean, that's a little side note. If anyone is interested in this and doesn't kind of know where to start with it, she's just writes it in the most like straightforward, easy way that you just understand like what she's talking about. And I love her books. I've always loved her books. And that one for me, like if people are going through a hard time, I send it to them. I'm like, I send it to them and I'm like, just read this. I mean, I've probably sent loads of books to people that they're like, God, I don't even like reading. Like, I've got a pal. She's not into self-help or anything like that at all. She was going through a difficult time. And I was like, right, here you go. I've sent you this book. I need you to read it. So there's no way she'll have read it. There's no way she'll have read it. But
well, if you want to save a bit of money, and you're like, well, they're not going to read it anyway, I send the article.
Oh,
there's an electronic article Gabby's done on looking for universe signs. We'll
my God, that's way better than sending it a text. Oh my God. That's so funny.
I use it in my coaching. I've used it in my coaching this week with clients. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
I was like, let's throw this over to the universe. Like, here's how you ask for a sign.
That is so good.
We should do an episode just on signs because I could just go off on a tangent and we're talking about how we got
honestly,
into it.
I have so many in my head that like live there that I'm like, that is incredible. That is incredible.
Same.
Just keep repeating the signs. So yeah, if anyone's interested in learning, like I would say that's like entry level spirituality. Another book that I love, which is like entry level, is like The Woman Who Started It All, Louise L. Hay. I mean, she is just like, she was amazing. I just, again, flipping loved her. And again, it was the same friend that told me to go see May that gave me a copy of How to Heal Your Life. Oh my God, I just loved it. Again, give people copies. I've bought my own book a couple of times because I just keep handing it out to people. It's just so good. I've got it on audiobook so I can listen to it in the car. Again, if you're interested in getting into it and understanding like a little bit more about the universe and how like the whole idea of it works, that you get back what you put out there. That's not to say that like, you've always got to be like super nice and kind to people when they're like, treating you like rubbish and stuff like that. Like it doesn't necessarily mean that you just have to be this really placid person who's really lovely and doesn't take any, no, you can set boundaries and still put goodness out there and receive goodness. You don't just have to be like a martyr. You can do it in those ways. And she just explains it amazingly. Like she just explains it so well. And her life story is incredible. And she goes into it in that book and it's just ace. Like,
the first really book that I read on it was, and it's the most popular one probably, The Secret, which is like law of attraction,
classic secret.
And I read it, and I was introduced to it by an ex-boyfriend. One of the best things he probably gave me. And I remember reading it and just thinking like, this is a bit like, I don't get it. I don't necessarily believe it. And a lot of, if you're not familiar with The Secret, a lot of it is like, use your mind, and your mind does. Your mind does. I actually listened to a podcast just before we started recording, a Stephen Bartlett one, and it was someone that was on it saying, my personality creates my personal reality.
Yeah.
And my personality is how I think, how I act, and how I feel. I wrote it down.
Oh, so that's lovely.
And I love that. And I think for me, The Secret's more about a bit
It
materialistic
is very
things.
material. It's like what
Yeah.
you want. You just think about having £1 million and you'll have it. It's like, well, I don't think it actually works like that.
And it's a worry, actually, the narrative that, you know, I think people are being a lot more familiar with spirituality and interested in it. But it's worrying that the narrative that goes out there to some people who could be quite impressionable around it, in that I'm just going to stick a white Range Rover on the back of my phone and I'm just going to think about it, and it's just going to land in my driveway, right? And then I've heard a story that happened to somebody, that happened to an influencer that I know. Well, you know, you actually have to work for it as well. And that's what I mean about energy and vibration. And someone actually asked about how can you use it from a work perspective when we put the question out there on Instagram to say, like, we're doing the podcast on spirituality, any questions? One of the questions was someone asked about work. And I just think in its basic form, it's just everything is energy. So if you go into work with a low vibe, and you think today's going to be shit, it will be shit.
It will be shit, 100%.
If you drive into a car park and you think, I'm not going to get
space,
you're not going to get a space. That's what it is. You create your reality. So, you know, if you're interested in this as well, this is another fun game to do. Drive somewhere that you think it's going to be difficult to get a space and just say, thank you, universe. Thank you so much for the space that I'm going to get, that I have. Sorry, you have to say that you have it. That I have beside the door. And honestly, you'll blow your mind with how many times you'll be driving up and someone will start driving out of space.
Oh, so, honestly, it's like if I wake up in a bit of a grump, like, and you're like, oh,
we all do.
Because we all do. Like, if you haven't slept and like you just let things annoy you, mark my words, your day just goes downhill. Like, it will just go downhill. And you're like, why is this being rubbish? Why is this day being like this? It's because you're creating that because you've gone into it with like a low vibration. If you can wake up and kind of get yourself out of that place and be like, okay, well, I don't feel great because I'm not as rested as I want to be, but like, you know, I'll just take things slow today and, you know, just try and reframe the thinking. You know, you could take a day that was going to just be rubbish from the word go and actually raise it up like a couple of levels and be like, okay, well, you know, it didn't turn out a bad day after all. Like, you know, it's been okay.
Because
so
you can change your personality. You can't, you know, people think, you know, you are born with preferences, and lots of things feed into the person that you are in terms of like the cultures that you've been around, your friends, your family, your social conditions, all of that. Yeah, that absolutely feeds in. But if your personality is how you think, how you act, and how you feel, you can change that. Yeah. So if we go back to the work thing as an example, because someone asked the question, like, how can it feed in from a work perspective? It's like, if you just think, if you go in with a high vibe, high energy, positive approach to things, good things will then flow into you.
Totally.
Everyone knows someone at work who you think, I don't really want to work with that person. Because
energy vampires.
Suck
the life out of you. Just suck the life out of you.
Exactly. So I just think like it's about being intentional about the vibration, how you want to feel, how you want others to feel around you and in your company as well. And I think spirituality can be great for that. And it's not, you know, it's not sitting there legs crossed, meditating, you know, all the time and things. It's literally just about how you choose to intentionally
you show up. That is exactly what it is. How you choose to show up in any situation, that is what it is about. So I choose to kind of show up in like, you know, a positive sort of way. My husband is like, oh my gosh, you're like insanely positive. And I'm like, no, but I'm choosing to. Like, I don't always want to be positive. Like, I'm not, like, you know, there are days when I let it get the better of me, but I choose to look at things in a certain way. Like, I choose to see the positive. I am choosing to be positive that a situation's going to work out. Like, I'm being mindful and I'm choosing it. Like, it's difficult to always stay in that place, but I think as you do it, it just becomes a way of life. And it is just my way of life now. Like, it is just how I live my life.
100%.
I do. I just live it.
I believe
like that.
fully
It's not
in
effort.
karma.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh
no
God.
effort. I
It's
believe
not
fully
effort.
in karma. I don't sit there and, I forgive and I think I don't need to do anything. I
Oh, I
don't need
don't.
to sit here and like cast a spell on somebody like, that bad things are going to happen to them. I don't wish that on anyone.
No.
And I genuinely think everything is energy, everything is vibration. And if you're not nice or you don't show up in a way that you think is authentic to yourself, or you do things that are like not nice to other people, unfortunately for you, that is going to come back to you in some shape or form.
It is the simplest way is get back what you put out. That's exactly it.
And that's actually true, isn't it? Because that's the manifestation bit. And manifestations became much more popular now. And it's basically you're declaring what it is that you want to get. I want to get a nice house, I want to get a new job, whatever. And I believe in manifestation, but manifestation is basically just having a high vibe energy and saying, putting out to the universe the things that you want. And because your energy is high, I do believe you do get them back. But you have to
I think the thing with like manifesting as well, I mean, we'll do a separate episode on that because I mean, you could speak about that all day because again, I don't necessarily think you can like, manifest everything. Like I genuinely don't I'd love to be a millionaire, but I don't think you can just be like put it on a vision board that you want to be a millionaire. Like you'd have to go out and work for it. You would have to take actionable steps to do all of that. But I think you can manifest like a way of being and a way of feeling. Like I think if you think that like, oh, well, if I meet this person, then my life will be better. I don't think you should like manifest that. I think you should manifest the feeling that I want to feel love. I want to experience love. I want to experience happiness. That is, you want to cultivate the feelings of the things that like, because then when you're vibing high and you're feeling love for everyone around you, lo and behold, like love of your life walks in, that's how it works. It's not like, sitting on your sofa going, I want to meet the man of my dreams, but I'm not willing to go out and I'm not willing to do anything to get it.
Hopefully he's in the supermarket because that's
bring him to my door. Bring him to my door, universe. Like it doesn't work like that. But if you can then just like, I want to feel love, I want to be in love with somebody, then just be love. Love everything, love life, love the people that are in it, like show love to everyone and everything. And then, my God, you will manifest a huge love in your life. Like that is how it works.
I'm getting like emotional listening to that. It's so true.
But that is how it works. Like, if you want to feel like, I don't know, secure, like, like feel secure in your home, be grateful for the home that you have, like, be grateful for that and, have secure friendships, put effort into them. And then security then comes in abundance to you. Like you just need to choose what the feeling is that you want to feel. And then when you give it out, like it's going to come.
And that's spirituality, isn't it? And then it's also knowing that, you might not get what you want, but it's throwing it over to the universe and working with the universe to think, okay, that's great. That didn't happen. Perhaps there's something better. And we have got countless examples of when something didn't work out.
So many examples.
And actually something way, way, way better came along. And that's spirituality as well. And that's believing that, everything is happening for a reason and to trust.
Yeah.
And surrender.
Everything is happening for you, not to you. So it's like looking at situations where you're like, it would be really easy to be like, oh my God, I've been made redundant. Like, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? When you can just reframe it and be like, okay, well, this is inviting and opening up for something even better to come along. And 9 times out of 10, you'll see that actually being made redundant was like a good thing. Like it led you on to this job. It led you to this place where you could then meet the person you were going to marry. Like, you met your best friend. Like it's all working out for you. It's not happening to you. It's working for you. It's worth
And I think you're right. So if anyone's interested, I think the Gabby Bernstein book, The Universe Has Got Your Back, is the best starting point for it.
Mhm.
And if anyone's a bit skeptical, the book I always recommend to people, and not skeptical, but probably needs a bit more science to back
Yes,
things up.
because some people do. Some people do.
Yeah, totally. Dr. Tara Swart's book, The Source, is really, really good. And it basically looks at, she's a neuroscientist, and it looks at how your brain, you can reprogram your brain, is basically what she says. And she gives lots of examples of how doing that, and actually, you know, that's how that links through to manifestation, the law of attraction, all of that. The other really good one that you sent me, the little, you know, book, the book present person that you are.
I know, God, I'm such a cliche. I tell everyone I do it. Send you a book.
I love getting books though. I think it's such a nice thing to do. So I think if you've got a friend going through a hard time, I've done it as well. I've sent books to people. What is it again? The law of attraction, the lesson one.
Oh, Course in Miracles.
A Course in Miracles.
Oh yeah, that's an ace one. That's like daily exercises, and it's so fun. Like it's ace. It's a really good one. Yeah,
it's
Pam
a really
Grouch,
good one.
That's who
Pam Grouch, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
and I've got it beside my bed, and just some nights I'll just have a read of it, and then it basically gives you these little exercises, little tests. So it's like, today try and do this, or try and think about this today, or try and change your vibration. So I think if you're trying to behavioral, it's good for behavior change and trying to integrate it more into your
it's a good one.
life. So
yeah, I'm gonna go dig that one out actually when I get home, and just maybe pick an exercise and be like, that's how I'm gonna try and show up today. Oh, it's just so ace. I could sit and talk about it for ages, Stacey. I really could. And I know that we will do more of these kind of spiritual ones. So let us know if you like them, because I know that it's not for everybody. And some people are like, holy shit, these guys, they're wired to the moon. Like, they are off their heads. Like, but no, I genuinely don't think I am. So if you do enjoy that sort of thing, please let us know, because this is kind of like what drew us together, I think, as well. And we're just really passionate about it. So we can speak about it.
So yeah. Any specific questions you've got on it, please let us know, because as I say, we could speak on it for, as Stacey says, we could speak on it forever. But we have to go about the rest of our day. So
we have to. I have to get back to the madness that is my home. And yeah, another coffee is calling.
So have a gorgeous, gorgeous week. Thank you so much. Feel free to get in touch with us with any other episodes that you'd like covered. Feel free to leave a rating or review for us. That is really helpful. We've just had
only if it's a good one. Only if it's a good one.
Only if it's a good one.
Don't remember with any of your nonsense.
It's all energy.
It's all energy. It'll come back to you if you leave a bad one.
And we will speak to you soon. Have a gorgeous week. Bye.